Hello guys, welcome to my platform Be Great on Air. In the last few hours, what has been running the internet is the sudden demise of the former Deputy Minister of Finance and Member of Parliament for the Akuffo constituency in the Ashanti region, Honorable John Kumah. John Kumah is reported to have died today in the early hours of today. In fact, as it stands now, the cause of the death is not known, right? But John Kumah is said to have died today. He was being rushed to the hospital. That is what is being rumored around. And then he gave up the ghost in him. Well, and this news, it's taken over the internet for some time now, for some few hours now, and there have been statements from the President of the Republic, His Excellency Akuffo-Addo, who describes John as someone who he knows very well in opposition and in government, and how committed he was to the cause of the party and of the government as well as the country. I mean, a message also came in from His Excellency John Mahamudu Bawumia, the Vice President, and he says, a truly committed member of our administration and party who dedicated his all to the success of our endeavor, referring to John Kumah, and he signed out by saying, rest well, John. I mean, and the NPP too has also released a communique eulogizing with the family and then loved ones of the departed Honorable John Kumah. I mean, so that is what for some time now has been hitting the internet and the surrounding. I mean, John Kumah, as I said earlier, before his demise, was a member of parliament for the Akuffo constituency in the Ashanti region. He is also a deputy minister of finance, and John is a lawyer by profession, and he's an entrepreneur as well. In fact, he has 15 years of experience in entrepreneurship, leadership, and also youth development. In fact, he was the first CEO of the National Entrepreneurship and Innovation Program, the NEIP, NEP. And then, I mean, he has a law firm and he has a construction firm as well. I mean, he's been doing so well in his personal capacity. In fact, John was tipped to be one of the fast-growing youth or young men within the NPP who, with time, would climb to higher pedestals within the party. But unfortunately, John Kumah could not get to that level, and then he died along the line. Reports is that he is married with 6 children. His wife is a Reverend Minister. She's a pastor, yes. And so that's the sad news, coming in from John Kumah's death that, has hit the internet for some time now, that almost everyone in Ghana is talking about, which the internet has covered so far. But then, the demise of Honorable John Kumah raises, a number of issues. In fact, it has been alleged by Captain Smart, who is a host at Onia TV, which is a television station based in Accra. And then one of the allegations he makes, or one of the issues he raises, is that Honorable John Kumah was poisoned. And from the narrations, he points to the fact that some members within his political party may have staged or may have plotted his death, and that he was poisoned to death. That is something that is not proven. It's an allegation that he has made or he's been making, but it has not been substantiated yet. But of course, as I said earlier, the cause of death is not known until doctors run their autopsy or any other process they have to go through, and then the cause of death will be known. But so far, that is the allegation that has been made. But there is more to that.
Wubia winim John Kumah for phone na friend say captain say you were poisoned ewo Kumasi. John Kumah any mpanimfoɔ bi ehyiam planning and say John Kumah baby all pre-kono one sha John Kumah betimi afura kodu level bi a obi antimi stop no tie me ye fa phone na fa chama wontumi there is a chama wontumi say say aduane no say wandi bia at the time a wo di John Kumah or a doctor echi wo mu say wontumi react to that food poisoning no imagine you won say John Kumah you okay eti John Kumah he was intentionally poisoned and he's aware. I can tell you the date and time John Kumah called India no kwede we India okohwe no yare pe wa bre brutal. This issue of poisoning is MPP mu dabe Honorable Apiakubi was poisoned. It took Dr. Biwa Yakwe and Mami Kasabin Kabameka so that you will know that I got the information, man. Sir Doctor in a share, Honorable Apiakubi. They tell me person poison Apiakubi. Apiakubi in person by bribe, guarantee. But Apiakubi anje. So Apiakubi was poisoned. Me na me catch now. Or special assistant bi o ebe ma me mondi. Wa wonim de ne frɛ no. MPs na Moya imagine say mon peke no foriata no monye careful and post we lose seat still are careful me and I
there is more to that. In fact there are more legal issues to that. There was the concern that now that a member of parliament is dead, a vacancy has been created within parliament, right, for his seat, that is the Ajose constituency. And provisions are made in the 1990 constitutions that when a member of parliament dies or when a vacancy occurs, right, in the house, there is the need for the parliament, right, through the clerk to notify the electoral commission for election or by-election to be conducted in that constituency. So people are asking whether, since the honorable member has passed away, though it's too early, but is there going to be, as it were, a by-election within the Ajose constituency to replace the honorable member? I mean, the catch is that ordinarily or generally speaking, there should be such a by-election, but then Article 112, Clause 6, Clause 5 and 6 of the 1990 Constitution deals with such matters. So the important clause or the important provision is Article 112, Clause 6, which states that notwithstanding Clause 5 of this article, a by-election shall not be held within 3 months before the holding of a general elections. Now, if you read the Clause 5 of the same article, it says that whenever a vacancy occurs in Parliament, the Clerk of Parliament shall notify the Electoral Commission in writing within 7 days after becoming aware of that vacancy has occurred, and a by-election shall be held within 30 days after the vacancy occurred, except that where the vacancy occurred through the death of a member, the by-election shall be held within 60 days after the occurrence of the vacancy. So essentially what Article 112 Clause 5 is saying is that if there is a vacancy in Parliament, right, and in this case substantially through death, so in this case when someone dies, a member of Parliament dies in Parliament, and then there is the need to replace him. Now the provisions in Clause 5 is saying that if the MP dies and the Parliament has to organize, or Parliament through the Electoral Commission has to organize by-election within 60 days, right, for death, if the vacancy was occasioned by death within 60 days. But any other vacancy created, it must be within 30 days. So it means that 60 days means 2 months. So in this case that the honorable member died in March, it means that 2 months from now, so which is April, May, right? So 60 days, it means that the election must be conducted somewhere around May, that is 60 days. But then the Clause 6 of the same article state that the election, if that 60 days right, for the election to be conducted falls within 30 days. Falls within 30 days of which the general elections should be organized, right? Falls within 3 months. Falls within 3 months of which a general election must be organized. What will happen is that then there's no need for by-elections. Now let me take this again. Essentially, what the provision is saying is that if a vacancy occurs in Parliament, make sure that a re-election or by-election is done within 30 days, right? But if that vacancy was created by death of a member of Parliament, then let's give more room for the by-election to be done. It means that that by-election must be done within 60 days, right? In this case, ordinarily, the election must be done in May, right? But then the clause 6 is saying that where the election to be held within that 60 days, right, is only 3 months to a general election. So, for instance, we have to hold elections within, let's say, 60 days, right? So 60 days, April, May, right, makes it 60 days. But if it is to be held within 3 months to the general elections, then what it means is that by-election will not be held. So 3 months from May, right, will be June, July, August, right? So ordinarily, there should be a by-election because 3 months to general elections, right? So it means that by the provisions of this article, a by-election must be held because 3 months to the general election, means that because from May to the end of the general elections, which is December, it's more than 3 months, right? And so by-elections will be held. Now, it is important for by-elections to be held, especially for the ruling government or for the NPP, because, or especially when the vacancy created has resulted in a hung parliament. If I say a hung parliament, what I mean is this: as it stands now, from the 2020 general elections, as you may be aware, the number of seats the NPP won was 137, and the number of seats the NDC won was 137, and 1 independent. It means that the number of seats NPP have in Parliament and that of NDC is the same, except that the NPP became the majority because the independent candidate decided to do business with the NPP. That is how come they have the majority number. But now that one of the NPP's person is out of the scene, then what it essentially means, right, is that as it stands now, Parliament is hanged. That is now the majority, or the previous majority, if you want it, which was the NPP, now has a total seat of 137, and the NDC also has a total seat of 137. So now it means that there's no majority in Parliament and there's no minority in Parliament. Parliament is hanged, and if Parliament is hanged like that, it's going to affect government business, especially when minority tries to oppose almost everything government present. Mind you, Parliament or parliamentary businesses are done based on numbers, based on votes. And so if at the end of the day there is a vote and then no one gets the majority, it means that whatever that was debated on cannot go through, and that may affect the government business, which I think so. So in this case, well, I think that ordinarily, looking at the time space between now and general elections, prudence would have required that no by-election is held. But of course, looking at how it may hurt and affect government business, well, I'm sure they may push for by-election, to be held to get someone to replace the Honorable John Kumah, whose sudden death occurred today, the 7th day of March 2024. I will be bringing you more details on this matter as and when they come up. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to this platform and let's keep learning. Thank you.